Todd and Amy Schmidt, their son Will, and daughter Sophie.
Will is, I call him a fun-loving worrywart.
Loves to goof off, loves to clown around, always interested in playing with his friends.
Sophie is more of a...
She's a free spirit.
Yes. She's stubborn, but she's also very outgoing, very sweet.
Todd is an anesthesiologist. Amy is trained as a nurse. A smart, active family. But no one is ever immune to the insidious diagnosis of type 1 diabetes. It happened when Will was just 15 months old.
You would think for medical people we would have had better insights, but we were in a huge state of denial. So probably the month, or maybe you think up to 2 months beforehand, he started wetting his diaper. Through the diaper, he'd wake up in the morning and his bed would be soaked. He'd wake up at midnight, his bed would be soaked. He was always thirsty.
He was transitioning from a bottle to a cup. And so our rationale was, you know, the cup is new and exciting, so he was always asking for wah. I remember, wah, wah.
He always was a pretty happy baby. And then for a month to a month and a half was very more irritable, crabby.
And then
January 27th.
Yeah, a day, I think it was a
Sunday.
Mm-hmm. And he just woke up and he was real lethargic. Just he didn't eat. And if you know Will, the kid would eat at any time, any day, any place.
And then that evening, he started throwing up. At that point, we just took him to the emergency room. The sugar was in the 400s,
Yeah.
and he was quite acidotic.
Yeah, so he was pretty sick, little guy, for a while.
Home life was instantly disrupted. Any ease in diet was replaced by tight control.
If you have no exposure to diabetes and all of a sudden your child is diagnosed, it is an overwhelming experience.
For me, it was just more of a structure, and I'm a very, I don't know how you want to
Scheduled?
say, type A personality. I like to have control over things, so that was the hardest part for me, is realizing that I can't control every variable that comes into play with it. And I think that was, once I realized that and kind of just said, okay, sometimes he's going to be high, sometimes he's going to be low, then it was okay.
By necessity, they adjusted.
And we did shots only for about 3 months, and then we got him on a pump.
I think, honestly, him being so young was a blessing in disguise, because he didn't know enough to be like, what is this?
But for the parents, they couldn't get diabetes out of their minds.
I remember I was talking to a friend, and I said, this is it, we're not going to have any more kids, because I'm not doing this again. But we decided we can't let that take away, our chance of building our family.
When Will was 2.5, Sophie was born. Early on, she showed no signs of the disease, but at age 3, it quickly changed.
Because she had gotten up to go to the bathroom like
4 times in an hour.
Times, and the meter read high, so we were like, okay. She obviously knew what was going on. She's a little bit more verbal in her dislike for it, I would say.
Will was real good, though. He helped.
He did. It almost gave them a, I don't know, he has her back kind of thing.
He's a diabetic genius. I do everything.
He did a great job of trying to help her with the pump changes and the needle sticks that you get from that.
Like many parents of type 1 diabetics, the nights bring fresh fears for the Schmidts.
But you always think about it, and you're always worried. And if
almost every night their sugars are okay, but when my alarm goes off, what gets me up is I don't want this to be the one night that,
So they wake up and check every night. They and all diabetic families hope and pray for a better life for their kids.
I think the most important long-term curative theory, at least to me, is beta cell regeneration, and then how do you prevent destruction of the beta cells. It will be much more physiologic, and the freedom that the kids would have.
Just something that they don't have to think about, because that's the hardest thing I think for them and for us to watch, is that they, as I said earlier, Will is a worrywart. And the other day he went upstairs and he was like, well, what if I go low? So he's starting to think about that stuff, and they can never truly relax. And you think about your childhood, and that's like a time in your life that you can just
Should be able to
relax. I would say what JDRF does for us is it helps us feel like we're not alone, just to have a partner in that. And I can't honestly think about beta cell encapsulation on a day-to-day basis because I'm busy checking sugars and keeping them alive. So just knowing that there's something out there that's working toward that goal for our kids is pretty amazing. Sophie's so excited to go to the gala. Mainly, I think, because she gets to dress up and get her hair done, but it'll just be neat for them to see how many people they have fighting for them.